Good morning, students. In the last class, you have studied about Archaebacteria. Kingdom Monera is being divided into Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. And you all know that Archaebacteria, Archae means primitive. Okay, so Archaebacteria were the group of bacteria which have been evolved on the earth when the conditions were hostile, means the unfavorable conditions. Okay, so these are the bacteria which are found to be living in extreme harsh conditions. The next is the eubacteria. Eu means true. So eubacteria are the two true bacteria. They are true bacteria. Eubacteria are being further classified into three groups. Bacteria, cyanobacteria, and the third, mycoplasm. So eubacteria are further categorized into three groups: bacteria, cyanobacteria, and mycoplasm. So now you will study about bacteria. Cyanobacteria, or also known as, earlier they were called as blue-green algae, and mycoplasm. So first about true bacteria. Okay, bacteria. What are the characteristic features of these group of organisms? They are primitive. Yes, all the bacteria, monerans are primitive. Okay, so they are unicellular, microscopic, yes, microscopic, and prokaryotic. These bacteria are unicellular, they are microscopic and prokaryotic. Okay, so what is meant by prokaryotic? Having the, yes, primitive type of nucleus, means where the genetic material is found to be in the cytoplasm. So there is a prokaryotic cell in these bacteria. Bacteria are being classified. Bacteria are being classified on various bases. Okay, so first, on the basis of Based on shape, the bacteria are being classified into 4 groups. Okay, so you know eubacteria, they have been divided into 3 groups, that is bacteria, yes, cyanobacteria and mycoplasma. So now we are studying about the bacteria. So bacteria are being classified. Okay, so based on, yes, different ways they are being classified. So first it is based on its shape. Okay, so based on shape, the bacteria are being classified into 4 different types. Okay, so it was first studied by Cohen. Cohen discovered the 4 different types of bacteria. They are So bacteria are classified into 4 types: Coccus, yes, Bacillus, Spirillum and Vibrio. Okay, so there are the 4 different types of bacteria which have been categorized based on its shape. So there are 4 different shapes: coccus or cocci, bacteria which are spherical shaped or oval shaped. Yes, spherical shaped bacteria are called as the coccus bacteria. They are round in shape or somewhat oval shape. Okay, so spherical shaped bacteria, so they are called as coccus. Example, Streptococcus. The bacteria which are spherical in its outline, spherical shape, round shaped bacteria, they are called as coccus. Bacillus, the rod shaped bacteria. Rod shaped, cylindrical shaped bacteria, they are called as bacillus. Example, you can see here. These, yes, rod shaped bacteria, they are called as bacillus. See here, in these rod shaped bacteria, I have shown they some are bulged at one end. What is that bulged form? It is nothing but these bacteria, they are in the process of spore formation. Spore is being formed within them. Okay, so rod shaped, cylindrical shaped bacteria, they are called as bacillus. Example, lactobacilli. Lactobacilli, spherical shaped bacteria, that is coccus. Rod shaped, it is bacillus. Spirillum, the bacteria which are spirally twisted, spirally or helically twisted, helically twisted. So the bacteria which are spirally twisted, helically. So you know that in ballpoint pens you can find the spring, how it is called. Okay, same we could find spirally twisted, helically twisted. So they are called as the spirillum. Example, Treponema pallidum. Treponema pallidum is an example for helically twisted, spirally twisted bacteria. Okay, so this bacteria lactobacillus, that is Treponema pallidum, it causes a disease called syphilis. Okay, so it is a spherically twisted. The fourth one, it is Vibrio, comma shaped bacteria, comma shaped bacteria. Comma shaped bacteria. one side it is slightly bent. Okay, so comma shaped bacteria, they are called as Vibrio. Example, Vibrio cholerae, which causes cholera. So bacteria are being classified into 4 different types: Coccus, Bacillus, Spirillum and Vibrio. Based on nutrition, second way of classifying bacteria is based on nutrition. Based on nutrition, nutritionally, bacteria are being classified into 2 different types, that is autotrophic bacteria and heterotrophic bacteria. Nutritionally means how do they get their nourishment, food on that basis, whether they can prepare, synthesize their own food or they obtain from the outside. So nutritionally, bacteria are classified into 2 groups: autotrophic bacteria and heterotrophic bacteria. Autotrophic bacteria are the group of bacteria, okay, which are nutritionally independent. They are nutritionally independent. Means they are not dependent on the others for their nourishment. They can prepare, they can synthesize their own food. Okay, so that is autotrophic. Auto means self, trophos means nourishes. Okay, self nourishes. How they prepare their food? Whether they are dependent, the bacteria are dependent on the solar energy or by oxidizing the chemicals. From that the energy which is obtained, they prepare their food. So based on that, so these autotrophic bacteria, they are being further again classified into 2 groups. See here, from inorganic raw materials, they prepare the organic food, organic substances. Okay, whether by utilizing solar energy or energy obtained by synthesis of the chemicals. Based on that, they are being classified into two groups. Photosynthetic or also known as photoautotrophic bacteria. Yes, they are classified into photosynthetic or photoautotrophic bacteria. What is that photoautotrophic or photosynthetic bacteria? These are the autotrophic bacteria which are dependent on solar energy and they have their own chlorophyll that is called as bacteriochlorophyll. So they are dependent on the solar energy, they take in solar energy and they have their own chlorophyll pigment, so they are, that is bacteriochlorophyll. So, and inorganic raw materials. So by taking all these, okay, they can synthesize their own food, that is solar energy, bacteriochlorophyll, and taking inorganic raw materials, they can synthesize energy rich organic substances. Energy rich organic substances or food is being synthesized. Okay, such bacteria are called as photosynthetic. By taking, photo means light energy, solar energy. So they are dependent on solar energy, okay, for the synthesis of, for preparing the food, organic material, organic substances. So they are called as photoautotrophics. They can synthesize food, but how? By the help of solar energy. So they are called as photoautotrophic bacteria. Example: chlorobium, chloronema are the example of photosynthetic bacteria. Yes. So photosynthetic bacteria, they are involved in converting solar energy into chemical energy of the food. And the second one, it is chemosynthetic bacteria or also known as chemoautotrophic bacteria. What is that chemosynthetic? See, first they have to synthesize, oxidize the chemicals. The energy which is being obtained from that energy will be utilized for the synthesis of, for preparing the food or organic substances. Okay, so such bacteria are called as chemoautotrophic bacteria. Yes, they are autotrophic. They are not dependent on others for their nourishment. Okay, but they are not dependent on solar energy, but they are dependent on the oxidation of chemicals. What the energy which is being obtained, from that they synthesize the food. Okay, so these chemosynthetic bacteria, first they oxidize the chemicals like nitrates, nitrites and ammonia. Okay, and from that what energy is obtained? What energy is obtained? That energy is utilized for preparing organic substances. See, photosynthetic, they utilize solar energy. First here, this undergo oxidation, oxidize the chemicals like nitrates, nitrites and ammonia. From that what the energy is obtained? Okay, so they can convert it into energy rich organic compounds, energy rich organic substances. Okay, such a group of bacteria are called as chemoautotrophic bacteria. Okay, so here these bacteria play a major role. Okay, so in cycling of nutrients, they are the nitrifying bacteria. Nitrification, nitrifying bacteria, nitrogen cycle. Okay, so example for these chemoautotrophic bacteria are Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter. So first, nutritionally, the first group of bacteria, they are autotrophic bacteria. They do not get the food from outside. They have a capability of preparing, synthesizing their own food, organic compounds. How they prepare? Either utilizing solar energy or the energy which has been obtained from oxidizing the chemicals. Based on that, photosynthetic bacteria and chemosynthetic bacteria. Heterotrophic bacteria. The bacteria which are being dependent on other organisms for its nourishment. Means they obtain their food from outside environment, from outside. Such groups of bacteria, they are called as heterotrophic. Hetero, other, trophos means nourishment. So these nutritionally heterotrophic bacteria, they are being further classified again into three types. Parasitic bacteria, saprophytic bacteria, and symbiotic bacteria. So heterotrophic bacteria have been classified into three types: parasitic, saprophytic and symbiotic bacteria. As the name tells, parasitic bacteria, these are the group of bacteria which are dependent on the others, okay, for the food and shelter. So the group of bacteria which are being dependent on the other organisms for food and shelter, such bacteria are called as parasitic bacteria. And the other organisms which provide nourishment, so they are called as the host. So these parasitic bacteria are dependent on host. They are dependent on the host organisms for its nourishment. Okay, these parasitic bacteria may live inside or outside. They may live, where do they live? Yes, parasitic bacteria. So they may live inside or outside the host organism. Yes, it might be the plant, animal, okay, another organism. So they are dependent on other organisms for its food and shelter. Yes, and later these parasitic bacteria, they cause damage, they spread the disease. So when they spread the disease, they are considered as pathogens. Disease causing organisms are called as pathogens. Okay. So not only they are dependent on host for nourishment, but also, yes, they cause the disease, they spread the disease to the host organism. So they are called as pathogenic, they act as pathogens. Okay, so parasitic bacteria obtain their food from outside. It is from host organism living outside the host body or inside within the host body. After deriving the nourishment, what they do? Yes, they spread the disease. Okay, so they spread the disease. Examples: Vibrio cholerae. Vibrio cholerae, Salmonella typhosa. Vibrio cholerae causes a disease called as cholera. Salmonella typhi causes or typhosa causes a disease called as typhoid. Okay, in man. Saprophytic bacteria. Saprophytic bacteria. Sapro means rotten. The group of bacteria, heterotrophic bacteria, which get the nourishment from decaying organic matter. Obtain food from decaying organic matter. Means they grow on. Yes, they grow on organic matter, decaying organic matter like excreta. Yes, the fallen twigs, leaves, flower, dead remains of animals. Okay, so that is okay, on that they grow and they obtain the nourishment. Because the dead remains of plants and animals, they contains of organic food, organic substances that acts as a food for these saprophytic bacteria. And they play an important role, ecological role. So they are called as decomposers. These saprophytic bacteria, they are called as decomposers because they undergo the process of decomposition. They undergo the process of decomposition. Okay, not only they get the food from dead decaying matter and later they convert organic substances into inorganic substances. That is minerals, nutrients, inorganic substances into the soil. So they undergo the process of decomposition. What is decomposition? Conversion of dead organic remains, organic matter, organic substances is converted into inorganic substances. So not only they are dependent on organic dead decaying matter for food, but they are involved in process of decomposition. So ecologically they play a major role and so they are considered as decomposers. These saprophytic bacteria. Examples: Pseudomonas, Lactobacilli, Acetobacter, are the examples of saprophytic bacteria. And the third group, it is symbiotic bacteria. These are the group of bacteria which are symbiotically associated with the other organisms. Okay, they are been living in mutualistic relationship with the other organism, where they get their food, nourishment, and also they help the other organisms, okay, which they are being in a relationship, okay, so in an interaction. So these bacteria, they show mutualistic or symbiotic relationship with the other organisms. So they are mutually beneficial to each other, okay. So they are been either dependent on the plants or the animals. For example, Rhizobium leguminosarum. Rhizobium, it is a symbiotic bacteria which is found living within the root nodules of the legume plants. Yes, plants, you know, they are autotrophic, they prepare their food and they also provide food to the rhizobium bacteria. Not only they prepare the food and provide to these bacteria, so now the bacteria get food from the plants, that is legume plants. And later, how are these bacteria beneficial to the plants? They get the fixed nitrogen by these rhizobium, by which both are beneficial to each other. Leguminous plants provide food to the rhizobium bacteria and the bacteria will provide the fixed nitrogen to these legume plants. Such a group of bacteria which are found living in a mutualistic symbiotic relationship with the other organisms and they are mutually benefited by them. Other organism, they get the nourishment. Yes, heterotrophic bacteria are being classified into parasitic bacteria, saprophytic bacteria and symbiotic bacteria. A 2-mark question can be asked from this part. Economic importance of heterotrophic bacteria. Economic importance of the heterotrophic bacteria. First, curdling of milk, lactobacilli. Curdling of milk, yes, production of the curd, production of antibiotics, okay, and next is legume plants, fixing up of atmospheric nitrogen. So these are economic importance of heterotrophic bacteria. Curdling of milk, yes, production of antibiotics and the fixing up of atmospheric nitrogen. Yeah, so here in this class you have studied about the bacteria Yes, categorized under the group Eubacteria, and you have studied the classification of bacteria. Okay, in the next class you will study about reproduction in bacteria. Thank you.